Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna do a classic rock reaction, man. This is a complimentary quad featuring Deep Purple, and supposedly it's a couple of tunes that have not made the mainstream album cuts per se. So we're gonna feature songs Cry Free, I'm Alone, Slow Train, Freedom, and Painted Horse. So, man, before I pop this off, I just want to give a shout out and a thanks to John Regan. So, first off, thanks, John. I appreciate it. John says, Hi, Wayne. Hope you're keeping well. Many thanks for your review of my Ian Gillan quad. As usual, your observations were spot on. I submit a news set. I have chosen songs that not many, only ardent Purple fans will have heard. During what is considered to be Deep Purple's finest period, the Mark II era from 69 to 73, when they recorded the classic albums In Rock, Fireball, Machine Head, and Who Do You Think You Are? I know you've heard some of these albums before, but I thought I would give you a list of songs that were recorded during the making of these albums but failed to make the cut. I have included all 5, as some are short, but feel free to miss out Cry Free, in which is the best known of these. I remember Cry Free, but no, we'll keep it in, man, for some who might not have heard it. Interesting fact, there's a Deep Purple cover band with the same name, Cry Free, which have been going for some years and are Deep Purple's favorite cover band. Very interesting. All right, let's do this. And John, he has pretty much given a lot of information about each particular song. So much so to the point that I don't think I actually have to go to Wikipedia and do any reading. So we'll just read all John's notes and there you go. So for now, let's hit up all 5 tracks, back to back. Rare tracks, I guess I'll call this quad. Deep Purple, starting with Cry Free. Let's get it.
Okay, gentlemen, here we go. Take 5.
Cheers, baby. Oh, it's a video. All things, just little snippets.
Find your mother, lose your brother, be a lover too. Well, all together make it better. You gotta cry free. Bridges burning, eyes are turning. Now the learning fool.
You guys remember the story of how Ian Pace got recruited? Whenever I do a Deep Purple reaction, I think of that story and laugh. Great Richie Blackmore. Some great drumming. Great guitar. Right on. That was excellent. This is I'm Alone. Great John Lord.
On the lonely road I'm traveling on, the road that leads nowhere. As the ground and the sky have me wondering why I'm alone, so alone. I've been rolling on for just 2 years. The sun is my only friend. With the wind on the bend and my back in my hand, I'm alone, so alone. I'm alone, so alone. I'm alone, so alone. I'm alone, so alone. And I feel like going home. Money spent, my clothes all torn, my spirit hanging low. I ain't got no
I
friends.
really dig how they give both organ and the guitar their own solos back to back.
So alone, I'm alone, so alone. I'm alone, so alone. And I feel like going home.
Where do you put Ian among the greatest rock vocalists? Undoubtedly, he's on your list, but where is he? Let me know. Nice. That was a really, really nice melding between acoustic and electric. This is freedom. Excellent vocals. Fantastic. Painted horse. It's a good shot of Richie there with a hat. classic sound. Classic rock sound from a classic era.
Sweet as a rose so fine, peaceful as a bygone time. How could the lion man cry? My painted horse is weeping out of a winter moon, warm in a distant room. Why did I fall asleep so My painted horse is weeping.
I'm trying to remember a Purple song that also featured harmonica. I'm sure there has been, but I can't think of it. There's a lot of great action shots of Richie Blackmore in this. Right on. And there you have it, folks. A really, really excellent 5-set. Deep Purple. And some of these being outtakes, some of these never making the cut on the albums for whatever reason. I imagine that space probably being the biggest obstacle. And I know back then that there were certain time parameters for each individual track and things of that sort. So I'm sure that those are the reasons among probably other reasons. But yeah, man, really, really excellent sound, man. Deep Purple represents to me classic rock, that classic rock sound. And if someone was to say, well, what do you define as being classic rock? What's the sound? You know, play some Deep Purple. I'm telling you, man, they represent to me one of the best representations in my mind as what the classic rock sound sounds like. Deep Purple. All right, so let's do this. Let's break down each song a little bit based on what John sent me, and we're just going to read his notes rather than doing a wiki read. Some have more information than others, but I imagine that's probably what I would find as well. Cry Free from the album In Rock appeared on the B-side of the single Black Knight, which reached number 2 in the UK charts in 1970 for a number of weeks. Interesting fact, Black Knight was kept off number 1 by Band of Gold, Free to Pain. Band of Gold, Free to Pain. Man. When I first heard of Free to Pain, I was thinking of some old lady, you know, because, you know, like your grandma would be named Frida. But when I saw who Free to Pain was and I saw her singing this on Soul Train, damn, man. If you guys don't know who Free to Pain is and what she looks like, check out Free to Pain on on Soul Train, it'll just blow your mind. And think of me being like, a 11, 12-year-old checking out Free to Paint for the first time. It was very, very, how would I say, interesting. I'm Alone off of Fireball. According to the master tape notes, the band worked extensively on this song, didn't make it onto the album, but was on the B-side of Strange Kind of Woman. It reached number 8 in the UK. Strange Kind of Woman wasn't on the UK Europe edition of Fireball. Demon's Eye was included instead. US editions of Fireball had the reverse. Cool. I like Alone. That was a really good tune. Slow Train. A really good instrumental, man. I love that difference between the electric and the acoustic. Really excellent. Back and forth, that exchange. A Slow Train off of Fireball. This was so obscure when someone asked Ian Gillan about it on his own website, he couldn't remember the song. He had to email Roger Glover to ask him. The lyrics feel as if they are very much improvised and unfinished. Lyrics. This was just the instrumental. We didn't have lyrics with this. The band probably didn't include it, Roger Glover said, because of the tempo changes, although he couldn't really remember as well. Yeah, man. They've probably done so many tracks. Freedom, off of Fireball. Freedom was the B-side to Fireball, the second single released off the album. The single Fireball reached number 8 in the UK charts. And then there's like 3-4 paragraphs of information here for Painted Horse. So Painted Horse came off of Who Do We Think We Are? Deep Purple's management hired a villa in Italy in '72 to enable the band to write their new album, Who Do We Think We Are? They once hired the Rolling Stones mobile recording studio, hoping to recreate the same atmosphere that led to the band recording Machine Head. Things got off to a bad start though, when it was discovered that the mobile studio wouldn't fit under an ancient arch in front of the villa. Blackmore was late and had decided to stay elsewhere. While the management looked about for another suitable location, the band, minus Blackmore, messed about creating silly songs. These have never seen the light of day. Eventually, they began writing and 2 songs were created, Woman from Tokyo and Painted Horse. Blackmore and Gillan's relationship had deteriorated to such an extent that they hadn't spoken to each other properly in over a year. Blackmore said he didn't want Gillan in the studio while they were writing and recording. Question about that. What caused such disharmony between Gillan and Blackmore? Was it creative differences alone? I heard some rumors that 1, Richie Blackmore is a son of a bitch to work around, and 2, that Richie Blackmore thought that Ian Gillan wasn't creative enough and he wasn't doing enough, and that I believe the coined word might have been even lazy. So let me know if you're an ardent Deep Purple fan. Let me know what the hell happened with Blackmore and Gillan's relationship. That'd be very, very interesting. They hadn't spoken to each other for... Gillan would sleep during the day and go into the studio at night to lay down vocal tracks on the songs the others had written. Painted Horse was the first to be finished. However, although Gillan liked his own dreamy lyrics, as did Martin Birch, the engineer, the rest of the band did not. I suspect this is a euphemism for Blackmore not liking them. Gillan refused to change them and the track was shelved. It didn't appear until 1978 on a bootleg album called Powerhouse, 5 years after the demise of Mark II and 2 years after the band split up. I love this song. It reminds me a little of Lazy and was, in my opinion, a travesty that it didn't make the album. It's a great tune. There is one song missing from the above, When a Blind Man Cries. I think you've already heard this song. It's extremely well known and is still played to this day by Purple. To quote Ian Gillan, explaining why it failed to get on the album, quote, "Richie no like," unquote. I feel that it's all about Richie Blackmore. Where it comes to the Deep Purple orbit, it's all around Richie Blackmore. But yeah, I guess that he was the band leader of sorts. And talking about that story about how they recruited Ian Pace as the drummer, I remember that the story was that they had a drummer that they weren't very happy with, or Blackmore wasn't very happy with. So they sent him on an errand, snuck Ian Pace in to audition on that guy's drum kit, and then liked Ian Pace so much that they gave that guy the boot. And Ian Pace was saying, was it the nicest thing to do? Definitely not. Was it the right thing to do? Certainly was. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're talking about where it comes to fame and all that. But it's a good example of I guess maybe the ruthlessness of Richie Blackmore. But if I'm going down the wrong impression about Richie Blackmore, let me know, set me straight. But what I did hear about this guy is that he's a son of a bitch to work with, you know, so let me know about that. I heard that from, I believe that I heard that from Dio, and little trickling stories about the relationship between Blackmore and Ian Gillan. Maybe one or two other little things in passing too. But let me know about that. He certainly is a great musician though. And I like his approach to classic rock. I'm talking Blackmore, where he wanted to keep the classic rock sound, the blues rock sound in tune and not go off too much. And if you've got an Ian Gillan who wants to kind of switch things up and create more and bring in more of the dreamy stuff or whatever the case may be, I can see how that right there in going in different directions and having different approaches to it could become very, very trying. And I imagine that somebody like a Blackmore would probably pull rank and say, okay, look, this is my band, this is how we're going to do it, right? You know, so yeah, man, I can see that dynamic going on. But yeah, give me a little bit of a really, really good, solid, factual rundown, as much as you have, about Richie Blackmore and the relationship between him and Gillan. You know, what this dude was really like to work with, Richie Blackmore. I'm sure there's probably a documentary out there. You know, if there is, you know I like documentaries, send it to me. All right, man. So that concludes our look at the great Deep Purple. Damn, man. Why does life have to get in the way of our good times? You know, I still got Marco's list. Marco sent me this list, man, over a year ago, of some really good Deep Purple and Black Sabbath stuff, because I've just taken such a long way away from the Unholy Trinity. I was doing this, you know, between covering, of course, the Zeppelin thing, what I do with Zeppelin, and then switching out Sabbath and Purple. And it's just so vast. But then again, I was looking at doing all of this stuff when I only had 10,000 subscribers. Now I've got 20,000 subscribers and a couple of other channels later, and then work increased. And so it's like, holy man, you know, when am I going to find the time to get back to some of this stuff? Because I think that the Unholy Trinity is just a fantastic cornerstone of classic rock. And if you stick with that for a little while, you'll learn so much, you'll gain so much. So that's why I want to get back to the Unholy Trinity and have some regular doses of it. All right, yeah. So what's coming up, man? So Sasha, Evelyn, Cat, Randy got reactions I've got to hit up for you guys. Thanks very much, by the way, to everybody who sent me all of these really excellent recommendations for John Paul Jones for Jonesy month in January. That was excellent. I didn't even get to half of them, not even to a quarter of them. But, you know, I'll continue along the way doing my little bits of Zeppelin this, Zeppelin that, and eventually I'll get to all of them. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was just one of those things where I was inspired. I said, all right, well, you know, I'm taking some extra time off in January to chill. What am I going to do with that time? Well, and then the inspiration came to me about John Paul Jones. It was that time, it was coming up to that time to start featuring John Paul Jones as I'm going into the solo works and all that. And I thought, wow, the month of January, featuring him as Artist of the Month, I'll never have enough time to do my regular reactions and then Artist of the Month anymore. But this was an exception where January was concerned and I had some time. So glad I was able to do that. Didn't get as many reactions in as I wanted, only ended up doing 10. My goal was 16. But I got a decent amount in there where John Paul Jones is concerned. Anyway, yeah, down the road, man, I definitely want to stick to the Unholy Trinity. Get back to doing more Purple and Sabbath in that. There's just so much more. Anyways, man, John, thank you again. I appreciate it. Hope you guys like this. And if there are actually a couple of tracks in here that you weren't aware of, let me know what you think about them. Let me know what those tracks were and what you think about them. Anyways, have a good one. Take care. Next time you see me will be tomorrow. See you then. Peace.